So I would say, like, whatever you're doing has to make sense, right? So if you're saying the property is going to be your primary residence, you're saying that, I'm going to live there, right? So if you say it's your primary and then you don't actually end up moving into the property, right? Like, technically the bank has the authority to call that loan due, right? Because you committed. But there are, certain instances where you may have a outside the box type of situation where, let's say, you're being relocated for work and maybe you need to be, away from your area for 2 or 3 days a week, and you're going to spend enough time there to be considered a primary residence or a secondary residence, and you're going to be traveling back and forth from, weekends and weekdays. I mean, it would have to make sense. If you're saying it's going to be a primary, we'll process it as a primary, but the underwriter's definitely going to scrutinize it and, better have a good reason for why you're doing that, right? So for your point, right, like if you have an FHA loan, technically you can't have 2 FHA loans at the same time. It has to be a primary residence, and you can only have 1 FHA loan at the same time unless there's an extenuating circumstance, right? You're, like I said, being relocated for work or some sort of valid reason why you need to move. Normally they like to see about 100 miles distance between where the one property is and the property you're going to be purchasing, and they will allow you to hold that first property with an FHA mortgage as an investment, as long as your scenario calls for it, right? Whatever the case is, there would have to be a really valid reason for you trying to apply for a second FHA loan or another primary or a second primary residence, right?